Welcome back to a history of saps, blackjacks, and slungshots. You are looking at my new favorite antique, at least in my collection. Thanks to a dinky award I got at work, the cash that came with it was immediately spent on getting my hands on this. I was going to use a picture of this in my book about saps, and the shop owner, who I'll mention in a second, had given me permission, so I thought that was really cool. He's got a great collection of bosun's Koshes and that kind of thing. And then I thought about it. I was like, I think I can actually get my hands on this one, and now I've got it. So what is this, and how does it fit into our overall study? This was sold as a double-ended defense Cosh, and I completely agree. This is a quintessentially English-looking weapon here. It's interesting because English Koshes definitely got used. Koshes, life preservers, the fruit Kosh that you saw in one of my other videos, that kind of thing got used in America, and American saps and blackjacks definitely made it over to England as well. But this type here, this kind of barbell shape, was really popular over there and never caught on here for some reason. So if you recall this guy here, this is really probably a relative, a very close relative to the one we're looking at today, but I used it in a video as a stand-in for a bosun's Kosh, an actual naval disciplinary tool / weapon. And surely that's the reason that terrestrial versions were so popular in England, I would have to think. So again, you can see that kind of elongated barbell shape that both of these items share. This one here is very flexible, if you recall, like a typical, bosun's Kosh or a, blackjack. But this English weapon here is not. So in particular, you found these rigid, balanced pocket clubs over in England, and I'm sure in the British world in general, that again just did not catch on over here. So you remember this one? This is our bamboo Kosh. It has a lead rod running all the way through it, so it's beautifully balanced, and it's got the leather knobs kind of at both ends. So those are some examples of the kind of the family tree over in England that this belongs to. And this one's notable for a couple of reasons. We'll get to the one that you're looking at right now. But first, just want to mention also, this is a really small weapon. So when I saw the picture of it, the static picture on the dealer's website, I thought for sure it'd be like the size of the bamboo Kosh. I thought it'd be a big bosun's Kosh, or like that bamboo Kosh, that type of weapon. And it's not. It's a tiny little slender pocket club. It almost feels delicate when you first pick it up. It's got some weight to it because of those two knobs. And as small as it is, each of those knobs, I mean, that's a typical blackjack sap load at least, if not bigger. So it'll get the job done for sure. But now let's get to the calling card of this one. We'll do two different views. Here's one. There's that exposed lead. Usually when you can see the lead, it's because the needle hitch, the braiding around it, is frayed. That's obviously not the case here, but it could be that it became frayed and then somebody, trimmed it up. And, it looks much better this way than if it just had a big tear in it. Could be that, but it also just could have been made that way originally. We'll never know, but it's great because it gives us a look at that lead. That's the classic sap, blackjack, slungshot load material, as you know. Common metal, easy to work with, dangerous because it's toxic, but you can shape it how you want, and it's very dense. So easy winner for the most common load material of all time. And here's the other end. So you can see this one's completely covered. See the beautiful work there. It's got that little circle. See the aperture there? Kind of dead center. And it's a little bit hard to notice, but this one here has some fittings is the wrong word, but it's got some work at the bottom of that needle hitch there, which the other side doesn't. And I don't know anything about putting these together, so I thought that was interesting. And to me, this part here is the one you grab. This is the handle. This knob is a little bit more oblong, this load. The other one is more of a ball, more of a sphere, and this one's got that fitting. I feel like you grab it by this here. You could certainly strike with it because that's lead in there as well. But you see the shape, right? It's a little bit more elongated. And there's what I was talking about. So I feel like you can grab on here, get a great grip, and then use the other side to get down to business. And look at the shaft. It's really beautiful. The dealer thought this was holly. He says it's a country wood. And you do not usually see these. I've never seen one, and I've seen as many as probably anybody, if you include online. I've never seen one with kind of that gnarled wood look. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Now, I'll try to give an indication of the two shapes here, in comparison at least. So there you go. All right. And that'll get the job done as the business end, no doubt about it. But notice the difference here. I think this one's got some more material to it. It's fatter, you see that? And with the, seems like purposefully exposed lead, I just feel like that's the end that was more meant for striking. But who knows? Before I put it off any longer, I want to mention I got this from Michael German Limited. So you can look that up online, but online it's actually Antique Canes. Sorry, antiquecanes.com, because that's their specialty. They have all these gadget canes, and I'll get into those in a future video, but they did include self-defense canes. So it's a great little shop from what I can tell. It got a write-up in the New York Times that I noticed, and if I'm ever in London, I definitely want to go there. So here's another view, kind of end-to-end, of my new favorite antique. You know, you would use this the same way you would almost all our weapons, right? There's a Buckheimer Blackjack to compare it to, but where this one is very springy, this one is of course not. And again, that's something that seemed to be favored over in England as opposed to in America. And there's the grip I was talking about. To me, that makes a really secure grip. You could grab it like this, and you've got that counterweight, and weapons nerds like myself know what that means and why that might help. Something this small, it probably wouldn't matter much, but it would give you the ability to jab, like with a hammer fist, as I just showed. And there it is, a type of weapon not to be forgotten. It's really fascinating. You know, people know about Kubotans and that kind of thing, the Asian equivalents to this kind of a small, you know, fist weapon. But this type here, just far too forgotten in popular culture, and it's a work of art, I think. As you can see, it's really beautiful. I'm incredibly fond of this one, and it's pretty noteworthy, I think, with the exposed lead and that, let's say, go ahead and say holly gnarled shaft. It really stands out. It's got its own unique look, and I hope the owner, way back when, was quite proud of it. Thanks a lot.